Hi everyone. So our bite-sized topic is shaping tourism responsibly. So we're going to explore how responsible tourism development can meet visitor demand for more meaningful and authentic experiences and how we can create those and provide a positive impact for visitors. So if we start here by what we mean when we talk about responsible tourism and sustainable travel. So, Visit Scotland, we take a holistic approach to this as set out in the UN definition of sustainable travel. So, as the quote describes, we consider the needs of the visitor and the industry, but also the impact that tourism has on Scotland's communities and environment. Because ultimately, we want Scotland to be a better place to live and a better place to visit. And so the responsible practices that we embed now across the industry will support the ambition for Scotland to be a world-leading sustainable tourism destination. So we wanted to share here a recent trends report that is available in full on the Business Support Hub. The key element that we wanted to share from the report is that visitors increasingly seek out meaningful, intentional experiences that foster personal development, social impact, and sustainability. Intentional consumption was one of the 7 key travel trends in this newly released paper that demonstrate that as travellers, we're becoming increasingly aware of our impact on the places we visit, and we want to be more responsible and intentional in our travel choices. So sustainability is no longer a niche concern, it is becoming an important consideration in consumers' travel decisions. And in addition to the stats on the slide, I also wanted to share with you some insights from a Kearney 100 report. And that tells us that 75% of surveyed respondents said that the impact on the environment plays either somewhat of a role or a major role in their travel decisions. So they'll consider factors such as the environmental impact of getting to their destination, whether green mobility options are available at their destination, and access to nature and the wild, among other things. However, it should be said that visitors often feel overwhelmed about how to make these sustainable decisions and don't know where to start when looking for a sustainable holiday. And Expedia did a study on this, which found 7 in 10 feel overwhelmed by starting the process of being a more sustainable traveller. So let's look at some of the practical steps that you can take as a business to become more responsible so that you can have the opportunity to make the sustainable choice the easiest and most natural default for visitors to take. So we wanted to provide some actionable steps that you can take to help you navigate what can be an overwhelming topic. So when you go into it, don't feel that you need to have all the answers to get started. At Visit Scotland, we were the first destination to declare a climate emergency as part of Tourism Declares. And at that point, we didn't have an action plan and we didn't have all the answers, but we knew we needed to start somewhere. And that's what these steps do, provide you with a starting point and give you some easy to follow steps. So first, we will look at taking action by looking at your internal operations, then influencing visitors' behaviours, and then finally sharing your sustainable story. So your internal operations are that key first step in helping you get your house in order. There are economic benefits to embedding responsible practices across your business, and it is part of business resilience as well as it can save you money. So there are many quick wins that you can do that don't always need investment, as well as access to lots of free advice to get you started. So our business support hub, there's lots of articles on there guiding you on sustainable improvements and guiding you towards a climate action plan to help you achieve net zero. We have 2 webinars that you can watch again about taking the first steps in climate action and also taking those first steps in inclusivity and accessibility too. It's also worth noting that if you're looking for a bit more support in making your business more sustainable, then we have our Climate Accelerator programme, which has been developed to guide you in how to reduce emissions and take practical action. So that's a really useful free programme that involves 3 short training sessions and a peer-to-peer learning session over a 6-week period. You can also consider joining a green certification programme. So there are programmes such as Green Key, Green Tourism and B Corp. There are different certifications available to meet the needs of your business, and there's lots out there, but it's a really good way to show your commitment to being a sustainable visitor experience. These programmes can also provide you with an audit, one-to-one support, as well as that visitor-facing certification. And it's worth noting again, it's not all about the environment. To ensure that warm Scottish welcome to everyone, we also need to look at creating a more inclusive environment. And you can do that by creating an access guide, which can outline the facilities and access information of your business. The webinar I mentioned earlier on the Business Support Hub is a really good starting point for that topic. And finally, when reviewing your internal operations, bringing your team with you plays that important role as well. So ensuring that they understand the direction of travel and the positive steps that they can take to become an ambassador for the responsible space that you're looking to create for visitors. And Keep Scotland Beautiful run staff training to build awareness and understanding of the climate emergency and how that relates to Scotland's tourism sector. And it encourages participants to respond and become certified in carbon literacy. If we then look at how you embed these practices into bookable experiences, we can begin to see how that influences visitors into making those sustainable choices. Creating an experience that encourages guests to stay longer through either a discount or through the visitor information you provide that inspires the visitors to explore the area more deeply and highlights to them the attractions and activities, all that helps in encouraging the visitor to stay longer in one place. And the types of experiences such as local cultural ones, nature tours or heritage sites all play into those more meaningful experiences visitors are looking for. And again, beyond the offers and promotions during off-season, think about the content that you share on your website and on socials about the benefits of visiting in quieter months, the fewer crowds, and those more intimate experiences that visitors can have. And on that final point of incentives for low carbon travel, there are some really good examples out there. Good Journey offered discounts at visitor attractions where visitors arrive by bus, bike or train, and they also help visitors find those low carbon routes too. So utilising an incentive programme like Good Journey can help you align your responsible approach and benefit also from a new customer base that are utilising this responsible planning tool. And then the final stage of integrating responsible tourism practices is making sure you share your sustainable journey. Now that you're taking sustainable steps, show how your business is sustainable, making it clear and easy for customers to see what it is about your experience that resonates with what they value. So having your climate action plan on your website and making sure your access information is on there too, that's a really good standard to follow. And you've probably all heard of the term greenwashing, where a business talks like it's a sustainable attraction or accommodation, but the actions don't always back that up. So many of us have become worried about doing that greenwashing that we've gone the other way and we're now green hushing, where so many of us are doing great things, but we're too scared to shout about it for the fear of being labelled as greenwashing. So be mindful of that. If you are doing these things, if you've taken these steps to become more responsible, it might be first steps, but it's still worth talking about. As long as you can demonstrate your actions to the responsible points you're making, then tell your visitors about it. I also wanted to highlight some dates for your diary that you can be mindful of each year when thinking about your social content or events to put on for visitors. Scotland Climate Week in September, Earth Day on the 22nd of April, and Purple Tuesday on the 3rd of November. All great sustainable messages and set dates that you can get involved in. So posting a blog, sharing on socials, hosting an event, or putting on a themed zero waste menu that day. There's lots of ways to engage and create that content. We also have the Visit Scotland marketing calendar, which is a great tool to align your marketing and help attract more visitors to Scotland. And in terms of taking a responsible approach to this, themes such as foodie delights, you could encourage seasonal and local consumption with locally sourced menus and producer collaborations. In the summer, we have a cultural journey theme where you could focus on the cultural experiences that you offer, or the community aspects of your offering as well. Off the beaten track path is another way to bed in the theme of exploration and slowing down, encouraging visitors to stay and experience an area longer. So throughout the marketing calendar, you can find ways to embed your responsible practices into the wider Scotland story that we are showcasing. Our Thistle Awards, within the applications to these, we're always looking at the responsible practices being taken by businesses, but we also have specific awards around Best Community Tourism Initiative, Climate Action Award, and an Inclusion Award too. So that's something to bear in mind again when you've done all this work and looking for the recognition for that and want to shout about it and tell everyone what you've achieved. The Thistle Awards are a great way to do this, and the applications for 2026 will open in March. And the final one here about influencing others, make sure you're telling your network about how you champion sustainable tourism. Tell your energy provider, the butcher, the restaurant down the road that you sometimes signpost visitors to. Make sure you're inspiring others in the industry to take action. And talk about the changes that you've made and implemented and share what works and what hasn't so that we can create that movement and get everyone thinking about their responsible path from visitors to our supply network. And finally, the opportunity that's worth highlighting here, Tourism Care's Meaningful Travel Map is a B2B tool for the travel trade and responsible travellers. You can only be listed on the map if you offer rates to the travel trade. So if you don't do that currently, but we would be interested, if you want to look back on our back catalogue of bite-sized webinars, we've delivered other presentations with a focus on working with the travel trade. So if you are watching this today and aren't travel trade ready, it's worth going back and watching that earlier webinar. But if you are trade ready and do offer a meaningful travel experience that demonstrates either the benefit you provide to the community, how you protect the environment, or how you're preserving our cultural heritage, then you could be part of the curated experiences for Scotland that help travellers connect more deeply with our destination. The map is another example of visitors looking for these types of experiences and a tool that you can utilise to be found by international visitors that are using tour operators to book these sustainable trips. And this is just a small collection of some of the meaningful travel experiences currently listed in Scotland on the Tourism Care's Meaningful Travel Map. So this provides you with a taster of how these businesses have created bookable, trade-ready experiences that are focused on environmental responsibility, community benefit, cultural preservation, or non-profit. So we have Wild Discovery with their focus on connecting people with nature through their wildlife experiences. Dundee Community Craft, who through craftsmanship have created community makers to co-design and co-produce unique handcrafted metalwork and jewellery. Made in Stirling have created a vibrant and curated marketplace for local artists and makers to sell, learn, make and teach. And the Scottish Crannog Centre and their work to preserve and share Scotland's Iron Age heritage through their Crannog reconstructions. So this is just a sample of some of the meaningful travel experiences that Scotland have to offer. And I hope it inspires you to think about the responsible principles that you can introduce or already have underway to then identify and create experiences based on the sustainable choices we know visitors want to make. So that these experiences become the easiest and most natural default for visitors. So we've packed a lot in today. Please remember there are a lot of resources on the Business Support Hub. If you would like any more information on what's been covered, please head over there. Thank you.